closer to training camp. We told you for the Dolphins on the 24th of this month. That's just about 10 days away. Dolphins, though, cornerback, slim pickings, Vlad. Slim pickings for this cornerback team. Of course, you got who's one of the best in the league, one of the best of all time, Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey, he defied everyone last year, had the injury, came back early, and was absolutely unbelievable. You got a lockdown over there.
He's a mutant.
And we thought Xavier Howard would be our guy last year, lockdown number 2. It's okay. He's no longer with the team, of course. So what did Miami go do? They went out and got Kendall Fuller.
Yes.
Veteran. Ninth year. Ninth year.
He's a vet.
So we know that Kendall Fuller has the veteran. He has the experience. I think he can be a good player. But this is where it starts to kind of get a little... Your number 3 is Cater Kahoo. We've seen good things from Cater. We've seen a couple not so great things from Cater.
Hold on.
Yes?
You mentioned a name, and I went, and when you mentioned the name, I was like, isn't he signed by anybody by now?
Oh, Xavier Howard?
X is still on the market.
Man, that shows how good of a season he had last year. He's just hanging out, man. Yeah, he's just hanging out.
I'm shocked by that.
You would think somebody would pick him up.
Wow, I am shocked that X is still in the market. But go ahead. Yeah, so Kendall Fuller, because X is 31, Kendall Fuller is 29. So that's 2 years younger. Yeah. X wants a big contract. Kendall's under the vet minimum.
Yeah, so kind of a deal right there. Cater Kahoo, like I said, he's been burnt at some times. He's done some good things. Nick Needham, kind of the same thing around Cater Kahoo. Do you have a ton of confidence in Cater Kahoo and Nick Needham?
No,
not exactly. This is where it really starts because at least, you've seen Cater and Nick Needham the past couple of years. You kind of know, you kind of are understanding. Here's where it starts to get the dregs.
I'm sorry, it's 2 years, $16 million. The Kendall Fuller contract with the Dolphins, whereas Howard, who's 31, was about to have 25, 22, and 24 million cap over the next 3 seasons for the Dolphins. So that's why they let him go.
Your number 5 is Siran Neal. Now, if you're not familiar with Siran Neal, he is a 7th-year pro, played for the Bills all those years. In all those 6 years that he played, 1 start in his career, but he appeared in 97 games. You want to go with Elijah Campbell? Do you trust in Elijah Campbell?
No, go ahead.
I'm hoping. Now, this is my fingers crossed.
But all right. Don't you think, guys, with Ramsey and Fuller, that's a good starting cornerback?
Yes.
Okay, then that's it. And then who's your nickel?
That's where you get Cater Kahoo and Nick Needham.
Okay, so I go with Kahoo. All right.
Okay. This is my real hope. Oh, and I watched him last preseason, and I thought he was in good position, and he looked like he kind of knew what he was doing. Didn't see the field at all last year. Cam Smith, 2nd-year pro out of South Carolina. He will have to answer the questions of, did you not play last year because you didn't deserve to play or because you were in Vic Fangio's doghouse? Like I said, I watched in preseason. He looked like he knew what he was doing. He looked like he was a good player, but he did not play at all last year, Vlad. At all. So my hope is that he emerges as a very solid cornerback for this team. He's a 2nd-round pick. We had to have seen something in him, right?
Yeah.
And they said we got
management, the execs did, but clearly Vic Fangio didn't.
Right. And Cam Smith now, remember when Vic Fangio quit or left the team or whatever you want to call it, he had an unlocked, like handcuffs unlocked on his X.com Twitter.
Yes.
And then, of course, we all know.
But we also saw a lot of things that happened with a lot of people with during the Vic Fangio, I guess, and Mike McDaniel parting ways. A lot of people from the defense were happy, but those were the young guys who weren't really getting the reps or everything like that because maybe they were in Vic Fangio's doghouse, but other people in the defense were very happy with Vic Fangio.
There were some guys having great seasons. And like we talked about this, before Javon Holland got hurt, he was on an all-pro trajectory. He was rated by Pro Football Network and Pro Football Focus as the #1 safety in all of the NFL at most points of the season. So he was having a good season, even though he didn't seem to like Vic Fangio all that much. Okay, Ethan Bonner is another guy that's in that cornerback DB room. He's a second-year pro. He's been on the practice squad a lot. And then this is where it gets fun. Storm Duck. Remember I mentioned to you about Storm Duck?
Storm Duck. Okay.
Storm Duck.
Okay.
He was undrafted,
Right.
but they say he has potential. And then Jason Maitre and Isaiah Johnson, also undrafted. Here's my hope. For a lot of reasons, I want Storm Duck to be a surprise on this team and be a solid cornerback. 2 reasons.
Storm Duck.
Yeah, that's reason 1. I want the jersey that just says Duck. His name is really Storm Duck. I want him number 1 because I think he could help the team. And they say he does have some potential, but also because I like the name Storm Duck. I'm hoping Cam Smith shows up this year and basically proves to us that he was in the doghouse of Vic Fangio for whatever reason, maybe because he was a rookie, maybe because Fangio didn't like him and the way he carried himself or whatnot. And then, Nick Needham, Kader Kahu, they're solid enough. And then, of course, you figure Jalen Ramsey and Kendall Fuller are going to be okay. So that's your hope. Jalen Ramsey be Jalen Ramsey. Kendall Fuller, be the pro that you are. Kader Kahu, Nick Needham, do some things. Cam Smith, be the second-round pick that we got for you. And Storm Duck, be that undrafted DB that just kind of fills in the gaps. That's solid. That's deep, right? Deep enough.
It's show-out season for a lot of these guys. Like, I think what you mentioned with Fuller and Ramsey as the starters, you're good, bro. You're good. Holland, safety. Everybody's wondering what happened. The injuries, obviously, like you said, with the lack of a relationship with Vic Fangio. Cool. Now you got your guy now. You got a guy that you say you like in Weaver, Anthony Weaver.
Anthony Weaver.
The leader of that secondary is the vet, is the all-pro, is Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
If you see the work that he's putting in, and you saw the work that he did in trying to get back after an injury, some of these young guys need to, get their asses in shape and ready to play this season. And really, because it's going to be a lot asked of them.
Yeah, there will be. Much expected. Much needed.
I don't know what this defense is going to look like.
I've got no clue.
This is the 3rd defensive coordinator in 3 years. This, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't know what they were going to look like last year.
And in the beginning, they looked shaky, and then they turned out to be a top 5 defense until the last 3 weeks of the season. Then they just finished in the top 10. And that was with a lot of injuries. This year, a lot of guys lost that was so vital to the defense last season. Forget CW, right? Forget 94 Wilkins.
Well, week 1, you're down Christian Wilkins, Bradley Chubb, and Jalen Phillips.
I'm just saying, forget that, Christian, because Christian left. You're down Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips.
Yep. And we don't know what Mo Kamara
don't know what these rookies are going to do.
Robinson's going to do. But we obviously got them for depth and for help.
Depth, health, and also the fact that it's needed as well, because once you let those guys go, you needed to replace them. We'll see, because I believe they're going to start off slow defensively, and it's going to be a lot of shootouts.
I'm feeling that too, Vlad. I'm feeling like a lot like last year. It's going to
take some growing pains. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of 35-31 type of games, 34-30 games like that. So we'll see, because remember, this is his first time being a defensive coordinator as well. He wasn't the D coordinator of Baltimore last year.
No. First time being a baller shot caller. You might have to go through some more growing pains. I'm going to be honest with you. And I'm not going to call for his head right away. I'm not going to say, oh, look what they did to Vic Fangio.
With his head.
We're gonna stay calm at first. Hopefully the Dolphins can outscore some people. And we're just going to take it from there. But I'm counting on Storm Duck and Cam Smith to maybe have a little step up this season. Of course, Storm Duck's a rookie nonetheless, but kind of step it up this season and over-exceed expectations.
Heat_Colt said shootouts are good for fans.
They are.
Yeah, if you win. If you lose, you're upset.